There are many cultural influences on teaching and learning. Each culture has its own cultural norms and expectations, like making eye contact when talking or questioning teachers. Sometimes these behaviors can be perceived as being disrespectful or a student not advocating for themselves and can impact their learning. For example, if a student has been taught not to question a teacher, then they may not ask for clarification or be willing to share different opinions or viewpoints. In some cultures, families are expected to teach students about home and family life skills, while teachers are expected to teach academics. It is important to understand the expectations of the different cultures in your classroom to prevent bias and misinterpretation of a student's behavior or to have expectations for families that do not match their cultural beliefs. Educators must develop their cultural competence or ability to learn about, understand, and respect cultural differences in their students and their families to support EL students in feeling welcomed and respected. When a teacher takes the time to learn about their EL students and their culture, they can plan lessons that connect to their lives, experiences, and background, and create a more welcoming learning environment and a classroom community for everyone. Culture influences a student's motivation and engagement in their learning. If they cannot make connections to their learning and how it impacts or fits into their lives, they will not understand or perceive it as important to know. Their school and classroom help make this connection through language and the opportunities to learn and communicate with their peers in a safe and inclusive environment. Students can interact and experience conversations that supports their language development both socially and academically when teachers provide opportunities for them to work and have discussions with their peers. It is important that teachers create an inclusive classroom by encouraging students to share their perspectives and ideas and modeling how to have respectful conversations. Teachers should also plan activities that are diverse in topics and are culturally responsive to support the different learning styles and needs of all students. Some strategies teachers can use in their classroom to support and celebrate cultural diversity are to include a variety of activities and materials that represent different cultures, build relationships with students and families to their culture and values to ensure the materials and resources represent the diversity in the classroom. This includes providing communication about their child in their home language when possible and encouraging students to share their language in the classroom. Activities that allow the family or student to teach a song or poem in their language or to share some words or phrases show they are respected and valued. In the classroom, it is important to provide EL students with visual supports and simplified text as well as opportunities to interact and participate in the learning with their peers to develop their social and emotional skills as well as their academic. Intentionally teaching vocabulary can support language development and provide understanding when sharing ideas. Morning meetings in classrooms can provide opportunities for students to learn about each other and make connections. These meetings are opportunities for students to develop their social skills for interacting in discussions and with their peers in a controlled activity while also modeling language and vocabulary. Routines and procedures in the classroom support EL students by allowing them to focus on academic learning rather than on figuring out what they need to do next. They provide them with structure and help them understand expectations. By understanding the social, emotional, and cultural needs of students when creating routines and procedures, teachers can provide their students with a classroom community that is respectful, positive, and supportive. This allows all students to reach their full potential academically and socially. Including families in student learning can support motivation and engagement in learning. It creates a more welcoming environment and allows students to make connections to real events and experiences from their own lives. The Funds of Knowledge helps to build bridges in cooperation and link school curricula and education practice to life skills of students. It supports the idea that EL students are an asset to the classroom community by bringing cultural and linguistic resources to the classroom. When families and students are allowed to share their experiences and culture, it strengthens the relationship between home and school and shows they are respected and valued. This influences language learning by encouraging language development and sharing in their home language with their family, which helps strengthen and support English language learning. It also involves learning about the students and planning activities they are familiar with and have experiences with to help scaffold their understanding of the academic material being taught. Schools and teachers can build and foster strong family community and school partnerships by providing opportunities for families to participate in their students' learning, getting to know families and their cultures, and offering events to allow everyone to make connection and share experiences. These can include conferences with interpreters if needed, offering communication in a variety of languages, or through resources like Parent Square that translate communications to their native language, and opportunities for families to share cultural activities and experiences. Teachers can encourage families to support their students in writing about their family and experiences for an assignment, sharing culturally relevant information about topics in the curriculum, and providing family events that are culturally diverse and inclusive. An example of this might be an art show where students create artwork specific to their culture, background, and family experiences.